And greetings and welcome to the QCast. This is season 5, episode 12. We've been on a little bit of a QCast heater since Friday or so, and we're going to keep it rolling. I mentioned in a tweet that we've talked to 8 of the 10 regions already without a game being played yet. And we're going to check another region off. We're going to go to Region 10. We're going to go to Thousand Oaks, California, and Cal Lutheran to someone that's already been on the QCast. I think it was last December. Russell White, the head men's basketball coach of Cal Lutheran. Russell, how the heck are you doing?
I have no complaints. I'm a little worried about the weather in Illinois, but
You should be.
it appears to be decent for for someone. I was actually born in Illinois, but I've been in Cali for a long time, so I'm officially soft when it comes to weather.
Absolutely. And by the way, this is a new background. I remember last year I was just seeing office walls and some memorabilia, but we have beautiful Thousand Oaks, California now in the background. That's a good look, Russell.
More specifically, beautiful Cal Lutheran University.
Yes,
We're always trying to upgrade over here. If somebody once said, if you're not getting better, you're getting worse.
it's beautiful. It is beautiful out there, and it was great to be out there last year. I stayed at coaching. I stayed in Malibu, and so for those games, my wife and I would make that 30-minute drive over the hills. I mean, I could go back to the Malibu beach in any time. That's not a bad place. That whole area, including Thousand Oaks, there, Russell.
Let's just make this a regular deal.
I'd
Wesleyan
like to.
comes out to us. We go back to Bloomington.
I love it.
Anything that involves getting great competition for our team, sign me up.
Well,
Sign me.
speaking of that, and we last time we talked a lot about scheduling. It was, in fact, I re-listened to that, and it was an awesome conversation. And here we are because last year we talked about like you had this trip coming up to the Sikma, and I remember giving you like I was like, I don't know if you're going to play Calvin or Platteville or Illinois Wesleyan, but here we are, and all 4 teams are ranked. All 4 teams won their conference championship last year, or at least a share in Calvin's case. Uh, I think we knew this was going to be good, but I can't imagine there's a 4-team D3 men's basketball tournament any better than this. What are your thoughts on the field as you kind of get ready to head to Bloomington?
Ron Rose is a genius. What else is there to say? I'm putting it quality events. I don't know. I Ron Rose is a genius or the luckiest man when it comes to scheduling,
Somewhere in the
and
middle.
both are good. We take them both, and I'm excited to be a part of it for our program. Um, that's really the words all I have. Like we're excited. I mean, we're excited to play against great competition. We hope the place is packed. We're excited. That's the best way to put it. We know we're gonna come home on Sunday night, and we're gonna know more about ourselves and know where we need to get better and know what we're good. Like it's great comp, and I know the guys are excited. The guys are excited for sure. I told them I was going on your QCast, and they had some questions. They were wondering why you didn't vote for us in the top 25,
So
your preseason poll. So I said, good to know. I'll bring it up. So here I am. I'm bringing
So
it
here's
up.
my answer. My answer is that Cal Lutheran did not respond to the d3hoops.com ballot request. And so when we got the info, it said Cal Lu did not respond. So there was no like row that said Cal Lutheran returns 4 starters, 80%. And so I didn't know if that meant that like a bunch of dudes left or like that is the answer of why I didn't vote for
There,
Cal Lutheran.
there. Who sends that out?
Pat Coleman, info at D3 Sports or what? Yeah, like so everyone else was on there and it said,
You send it to the head coach.
I don't know where it got sent.
So yeah,
But
that's because not that it matters. It's fine. We had a change in sports information director over the summer. It was
right.
unfilled for a while, yada yada yada, whatever. But all I'm saying is the little bulletin board material as we fly out
I
to
thought about that. I
Bloomington
did. I
for the
did.
boys.
I thought about that. And at the end of the day, I was like, I can't do something because I'm trying to avoid bulletin board material. But that is the answer is
That's
we
fair.
we
Just
go through
say,
that.
send it to me next time. I'll make sure it's done.
No, it is. It's a huge deal.
I don't
When
know Pat, so I don't know Pat, so like
it's a really comprehensive thing of like, say, the top 50 teams that might be in consideration. So I think your guys are still going to use this on the bulletin board, but at least I'm giving
no
them an
doubt.
actual good answer of
A
why I didn't.
valid.
So, and then I try to just guess. So first, then I'm guessing like Redlands. I knew I was voting for a SCIAC. Redlands, CMS, Pomona, Pitts, or Cal Lutheran. I had no idea. I mean, I just kind of
All
picked
good
one.
teams.
I ended up picking the one that got picked fourth in the poll. So I guess I look pretty stupid on that. But these are four good teams. Like I got to live with that.
No doubt. And we call it the SCIAC. You keep calling it the SCIAC.
That's true.
We call it the SCIAC. So get with the lingo. Um, but those are four really good teams. And
Right.
I think one of the things we talked about last year was how much better the league is getting.
Yeah.
Two teams in the tournament the last 3 years. Uh, that was the first time in I think over 20 that we got two teams, and I'll go on record here and say we're not far from getting three.
Right. Oh
I
yeah.
don't think we're far from getting three.
Yeah. I
Um,
think where the league is gone, it clearly has established itself as, it's always been a great league, but I think now some of the cross region matchups are starting to prove that out. For example, you beating Illinois Wesleyan last year. Illinois Wesleyan goes on to win the CCIW. That's a really good win where you've got like different regions playing each other and you could start to compare stuff. So I think there's a whole bunch of those games happening now, which is great.
yeah,
Last year, you guys go 23-5. You go 15-1. You come into this year ranked 24. So there were plenty of voters that were courageous enough to
and
to vote for you,
we're
right?
grateful,
Yeah.
whatever
So
that. I
you
mean,
come
look,
in ranked. Um, I believe you have four starters back. So I think you have every starter except Brock Susko. Is that correct? Other four guys were in, right?
correct.
So you return Devin Lewis, Tommy Griffiths, Desi Burridge, and Stephen Davis. Were those the four guys that returned? Yes.
100%. You're on it. You're on it.
Now, I will say too, I thought through, okay, so do I still rank these guys? I think you'd agree that the dudes you lost, boy, you lost good guys in there, right? I think that Patrick Renani really was a big factor for it. He did such a good job off the bench providing size. Brock Susko was a stud, and then Riley O'Connor leaves as well.
Is
So
this stuff.
you've got three key roles in there to replace coming into this. Do I have the right guys identified that are gone?
You're on it, man. I don't. You did your homework before. You're on it. I mean, those three. Brock was Brock was a candidate for Player of the Year in the
Yeah,
conference. Patrick was fantastic, big man that could shoot the three off the bench, playing in Denmark now professionally. Riley O'Connor was probably the second best defensive player in the league, in my humble opinion, behind Desi, who was the Sky Defensive Player of the Year. So we did lose some key pieces. There's no question. Um, all of them could have come back. Brock's at, and I don't know if you know, Brock's at NYU now,
oh, that's
and
right.
Riley is working now in Thousand Oaks and is not obviously he graduated and is now working and not playing. But those are three key guys, 100%, and replacing them is what a program does. I mean,
Absolutely.
that's a good program does it replaces guys from within the program, um, finds guys to replace. That doesn't mean we do have a transfer we think that's going to help us, but we have guys that have been in the program
Yeah,
that are now going to get their opportunity to replace Patrick, to replace Brock, and to replace Riley. And if those guys some of those guys have been. I mean, we have nine seniors, and seven of those seniors have been here for 4 years or more,
sure.
and two are now in their second year. They transferred in last year as juniors. So we have guys that have been here and know what we're about. Now those guys that weren't playing last year behind Brock, Patrick, and Riley, now it's their turn. And if they play well, we're going to be pretty good again. If they don't play well, we'll see. But that's what I think a program is. It's just it just keeps going with
Absolutely.
the guys you build, and that's what we've been trying to do here for the last 4 or 5 years that we've been here, and we'll see. We'll see. But I do. We are definitely excited. Excited for the trip. Obviously, that's what we're here talking about. But we do think we have a good team, and you still got to go out and play. We've got another hard schedule. I think the league's better than it was last year. We got uh, our schedule. We go to the Sikma. Whitworth's coming to us.
Yeah.
Then we get Mary Hardin Baylor up in Washington. We play Whitman up in Washington. So we've got some good non-league games again, and then it's the gauntlet of the SCIAC. And our
Sure.
first SCIAC games are Redlands and Pomona. So and those are in
Wow.
early December.
Yeah, that's a great way to start off. And great comments about just great programs being able to plug guys in where when it's no different than the Titans lost Luke Yoder and Ryan Soroka from the team that started in your building last year, and they have to replace those guys with guys that came off the bench last year or played JV or a little of both. Um, you mentioned a transfer. I was combing your roster. I was like, I know Coach has some people, and I saw some big 6'9" dude, Coach, and he kind of scared me. I don't know if he's from I can't remember if it's a D2 or a JUCO, but I was like, hey, like that guy looks scary to me. Is that the transfer that I'm going to see trot out on Friday? Or tell me about this, Coach.
That's yeah. Drew Pipersburg,
Yeah.
uh, Fullerton College.
Yep.
Um, I don't think is he listed at 6'9"?
I don't know. He looked like it to me. I don't know what that means, but
He's
I was
he's
like, hey, that guy's big.
strong, big, strong young man for
Sure.
sure. Big, strong young man. Expect him to contribute for sure. But first year in a program that he hasn't been to. I mean, the learning curve,
Right.
but with his size and strength, I mean, he's gonna help. He's definitely gonna help. He's definitely gonna help. I mean, he's a much different player than Patrick, but um, he's definitely going to help the program, and he'll be a junior, so he's got 2 years left. You're not on the schedule next year, so you won't have to worry about him when he's a senior, when he's
That's
really
good.
acclimated to our program.
Until the
And
NCAA tournament, we'll play in the tournament. We're going to
hey,
keep this going.
we'll take that all day,
Yeah.
anytime,
Can
anytime, anytime.
I
Well,
ask your travel plans here? Everyone else has it pretty easy. Platteville, Wisconsin isn't that far away, and Grand Rapids, Michigan, relatively speaking, isn't too far. So those guys are getting on a bus. But I guarantee you that Cal Lou isn't getting on a bus. So when do you leave? I assume it's LAX, but tell me about the travel plans.
we'll fly out Wednesday morning, so we'll get into Bloomington Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday evening. Get on the floor that night, just get some shots up. That'll be a long day for us. Early departure Wednesday. Thursday, day of recovery. Obviously, get on the floor. We need some highlights of Central Illinois. How far are we from Abe Lincoln's house? I mean, talk to me. We need some tips.
Yeah,
But
you're
Thursday will be a recovery day, and then we'll get on the floor, obviously, and but we're in town on Wednesday. Then we obviously play Friday. We play Saturday. We're still trying to find a game for our development guys. When we go on these trips,
oh
we
yeah.
bring the whole roster. So we're bringing 21 players,
Oh, that's
and
great.
we're trying to find a game for those guys who probably aren't going to get in the real action at the Shirk Center. Working hard to get that. A couple things have fallen through. Uh, we we'll wake up early Sunday. We'll drive back up to Chicago. We got a very late flight on purpose Sunday night, so we can spend Sunday in the Windy City.
Oh, that's nice.
See as much as we can. Give these guys some great memories, win, lose, or draw. Give some great memories in the city of Chicago, and get home very very late Sunday with with some good memories.
Well,
one way or the other.
these are my two homes. So I grew up in Chicago and was there till I was, I went to college at 17 years old, and then I was in Bloomington for like 17 years after college until I moved away. So you're in two pretty good places, albeit not Southern California, not near Malibu. It's in November. So, typically the average November day, coach, it's cloudy, it's 50, 4 degrees. So I mean, I'm not, just make sure your guys know they're not going like to Pepperdine here, you
Well,
know?
we got jackets. I'm looking at the weather right here. We got it on the proposed weather that's not the
Yeah. What
correct
does
word.
it say, by the way? I haven't
The
looked at it.
projected weather is in Bloomington, possibly some rain on Saturday, but high 50s, low 60s. I mean, we're in good
That's a
shape.
gift. That is a
We're in
gift
good shape.
for the Sikma weekend.
I
It
mean,
is a gift.
if I remember correctly, when the Titans came out to Calou last year, they brought the rain.
It was kind of crappy weather there. There was one nice day, their first day, and then it was cool and rainy. Agree.
So we're coming out and we're bringing the nice weather with us.
That's cool. And
Just
the
saying.
the namesake of the tournament's going to be there. So Jack Sikma's going to be in the building. That's really cool that he's coming back for it. Kind of a special deal. And hopefully we just have awesome games across the board. I'm curious. You're really familiar with the Titans now, but you played them last year. You prepped for them, you played them, you beat them. You beat them 58-52 on December 18th. That was a pretty good game. Titans led at the half, and it was tied with about 4 minutes left. You guys played really well down the stretch. Titans that lost a couple starters, have a couple new guys plugged in. How do you approach scout for the Titans? Again, I think you could just watch the film from last year. It's not that different, but how do you approach playing the Titans?
Well, we know it's going to be a war. I mean, it was physical last year. It's not going to be different this year. I know we teach physicality. Ron teaches physicality. Um, we've got our film from last year where our calls have been made to Butler and DePaul. We've used our resources and played our cards
Sure.
and done what we can to ascertain any information that might be of value. But I mean, ultimately, you're going to go in there and play. We're going to figure out what we need to get better. I know I keep saying that, but I say that all the time to our guys too. This is not unusual sayings from me. Um, it's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. I mean, what do you think? What's the projected crowd for Friday night,
Well,
Bob?
it's a 5 p.m. game. I've never seen us play a 5 p.m. game on a Friday, so I don't really know. I don't really know what to expect. To
I
me,
mean,
because
does that impact the 5 p.m.? You think that impacts the crowd? I mean, it's not LA, as you say.
I think it does. I don't know what to predict. 1,500. To me, 1,500, and that to me that's a smallish crowd. So we'll see. I think that it will impact the crowd. It's going to be awesome. As far as the game, I mean, I hope you get the Butler film. I was there. Now, also, what I will say is if you have a guy that makes 6'10, 240 Harrison Wilmson look as tiny as he looked, then we're in trouble. And if you have that McCaffrey kid who's in his sixth year from Iowa, if you have him 6'9 playing the three, then we're in trouble. And if you have the rest of those Butler dudes, then we're in trouble. So I hope you get the Butler tape because we weren't any good in that game, coach. The Paul game, I
Well,
thought we were pretty good.
I don't know if you were. We all are. We can be good when we're even playing teams like that. So I don't know if just because you didn't look good doesn't mean good things didn't happen and we're overmatched.
I
Whatever.
do know that
We don't have anyone that's going to make Harrison look small. We
he
don't have
looked
any
tiny.
six-year guys from Iowa with the last name McCaffrey.
Right.
We don't have any 6-year guys. So I would suspect it's going to be. I would not predict in whatever it was, 80s to 40s type situation.
Yeah, it was. Well,
I'm gonna
here's what it was. It was 10-10. It was 10-10 at 14 minutes, 10-10. And then there was like a 30-2 run. So I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna make a hot take. Cal Lou will not go on a 30-2 run in the game. That's my only hot take I'm going to say. There's no way you go 30-2 on us. That's what I'm
Bulletin
saying.
board material.
But send
Bulletin
that to your
board.
guys, Russell. Send that to the
Oh,
boy. If
they're
that
all
happens,
probably
I
going
would
to
never
watch
go
it
to the end of
tonight.
that.
They're all going to watch tonight. They're going to be looking for you in the crowd.
I know they will. I
They're looking
know.
for you.
Just a couple more things. I know
Sure.
you're busy getting ready for the trip. You mentioned the SCIAC. I called it the right thing. Last year, 15-1, and then CMS was 13-3. Pomona Pitts are 12-4. Chapman 9-7. Redlands 8-8. Redlands came out of the gates, looked awesome in the Great Lakes Invitational and some other games, and then just had a rough SCIAC season. So they were 8-8. And then the poll comes out. Cal and CMS picked in a tie to win it with Pomona Pitzer and Redlands. We talked about this earlier, but it seems like that pretty safe top four in terms of picking preseason, but I feel like any of the four could win it. Do you feel that way? And how do you look at the league coming in?
Well, I'd say any of the four can certainly win it. The league went to five for the tournament. This will be the first year five
Right.
goes in the tournament. Um, Side note, I mean, I don't take Chapman off the board. They got a
Yeah.
bunch of returners, and then shout out my assistant the last 2 years moved to Chapman and is going to have a big impact on their program. Their new coach Dan is of slapping glass fame, is going to do a great job invigorating that program with my assistant Kyle. So I wouldn't even take them off the board. They're loving the fact that they're
Sure.
picked fifth. They've got a
Right.
good team. It's so talking about the league. I mean, we know Caltech's got some new guys in the program. Like it's a tough league.
It
It's a
is.
tough league. The coaches are good. It's a very cerebral league. Um, I don't. I mean, I know who I picked. I'm just not going to say that, and it wasn't us. And just deference to that capacity. Although obviously we're going to do our best to try and defend. I don't think Kalu's defend the SCIAC title since 1994, but it's I'm excited. I'm excited for the league because it's
Yeah.
uber competitive, and every game you can lose any game. Going to Laverne's not easy.
Yeah.
Going to Oxy's never easy. Even though they weren't picked towards the top of the league,
Right.
I wish I said this to you last year too. I wish we had someone that was as uh, high profile is not the word, but there's a group of D3 enthusiasts,
Right.
yourself being one of them. I'd love to get someone on the West Coast in the
You got
realm
to
of you.
develop one. You got to develop one.
Well, yeah, he was our man. He was our student assistant last year. Now he's a GA at LMU, and he might be that guy down the road if he doesn't become a Division I coach. But um, this is really good basketball out here,
Yeah.
and we, obviously I'm very, very biased, and I live out here, but this is very good basketball, and everyone's starting to find out a little bit more every year, and it's gonna keep happening, and it's gonna keep building. I know Bridge is taking his team places. I know Pomona and Claremont they're getting good
Oh
teams that
yeah.
come. Chapman is going to travel and play that schedule as well, and um, we're we're gonna make we're gonna keep doing our best to make some noise as best we can. You can count on that.
Well, Redlands last year beat Wisconsin, Oshkosh, Williams, and Illinois Wesleyan. And what's funny, Coach, is I didn't even think twice about this. I did like most of my tweets, and I tweet after the third of those games. I tweet like, has any team in the history of Division III ever beaten Wisconsin, Oshkosh, Williams, and Illinois Wesleyan in the same season? And like a second later, a kid that plays for St. Joe of Connecticut says, we did it last year. And I looked, and the kid was right. There was that tournament in South Dakota where I can't remember the order, but they actually, it took 1 second for me to get called out for a terrible take. So it's tough being on Twitter sometimes.
Yeah, that's why I don't get on there too much. I don't expose myself to
Yeah, it's tough.
that. But that being said, I mean, all jokes aside, you and the rest of the D3 hoops enthusiasts are fantastic for our sport, and I know everyone's grateful for all the work you do, and I get my 15 minutes of fame for the 2024-2025 season, and I appreciate you asking me on. Not that we're leaving just yet. It's your call, it's your show, but to all of you guys, the DataCast guys, and
Appreciate that.
all of them, I know your enthusiasm is tremendous. So please continue that work,
Yeah,
and
I think everyone just does it because they love the
that's the
level.
best part.
Yeah, that
It's
everyone's just doing it because they want. Like, Ryan Whitnable starts the Great Lakes Invitational, and every year has to get 8 teams to say yes, and then he has to coordinate the entire tournament. And I got news for you: there's no revenue, there's no money coming into him. He's doing this because he loves it. So, there's good stuff happening. We do need a West Coast
we do.
SCIAC based. We got to develop a youngster. Like we got this Poppers kid out in New York. Akiva Poppers. He's now got the yeshiva thing covered. We need the SCIAC covered for sure by some up and comer, because I can only speak for me. I'm going to be 53 in a couple of weeks. We got to start getting the younger group in here, Coach. That's what
Gotta
I'm
keep
telling
it
you.
rolling. It's built. You're building a program. You're building a program, Bob.
That's correct.
Program,
Poppers
and
is like a freshman, right?
that's right. And he's got to continue the tradition of Twitter stuff and
Yeah,
QCast and
yeah. The
all the good
Snyders are
stuff.
still pretty
We have-
young. Ryan's still pretty young, so they're going to be around a while.
yeah,
But I'm just
we
saying,
definitely got to put together. I'm gonna put that on my to-do list for the off season.
yes,
Let's get a
in your free
D3
time.
person to rep us in the D3 hoops world,
Yeah.
and um, that'll be top of my list once season ends. Hopefully,
If it takes you away from landing
middle of
6'8"
March.
guys, then I think you should spend a lot of time on it, because every year we come on this podcast, you have a 6'8" guy. So
Well, they're not 6'10", and they're not 6 year guys from Iowa, so it could be
whew,
worse.
they were big. I'm telling you.
It could be worse. It could be
Um,
worse.
just in kind of closing, then I'll give you the final thoughts here, Russell. Really appreciate this came about very quickly. I talked to Coach Guard a couple weeks ago. He was awesome, and talked to Coach Saul. Ironically, the last guy I'm trying to talk to is the guy at Illinois Wesleyan. That's scheduled for Wednesday. He's been hard to wrangle. So talked to him today, and he wanted me to say hello to you. He's referred to you as a good friend now for like last four times I've talked to him. So I'm not sure what you've done here, but Ron Rose is a huge Russell White fan. So I don't know how that's transpired so quickly, Coach. What's going on there?
Uh, we try and be great hosts when teams come out to visit us, because hopefully they'll want to come back in the coming years after they've raised all the money that it takes to get out to Cali.
Yeah,
Um, I hope it has something to do with that. We've obviously had lots of dialogue over the past 2 or 3 years, trying to set all this stuff up, and I'm grateful that he considers me a good friend, and I'm grateful that I've earned that type of admiration. I don't know if that's the best word, but I definitely feel like he's a friend as well. We have a great professional relationship. Hopefully, I asked him if there's any golf involved in this tournament. He seemed a little busy, which is probably why you can't wrangle him either. But all
I
jokes aside,
I would like our
he's been
chances to
awesome
beat
in my
you.
path.
I would like Ron's chances to beat you in basketball with the Titans better than his chances to beat you in golf. I don't think Coach Rose is a guy you want hitting an 8 iron from 152. I just don't think he's that guy.
It's about the camaraderie, Bob. It's about the camaraderie when you're on the golf course. But okay,
I
if you
know.
think you're going to put me at an early favorite, I'll accept those terms.
Oh yeah, he'd have to give you like nine aside. Yeah,
He's
trust me.
giving me, or I'm giving him.
You got to give him nine aside. Yeah, yeah. Trust me. Again, I feel at least we have a chance Friday. If you and him play like one on one at Prairie Vista Golf Course, we're in trouble in that one. So that's all
Make
I'm
it part
saying.
of the deal. Make it part of the deal. But anyway, going back to just when Ron came out last year, I sat with him in the bleachers, and we just just really talked for almost a full game, and I peppered him with questions about D3, and um, it was just a good conversation, and those conversations continued after the season, and I'm looking forward to get out there and hopefully we get a chance to break bread at some point and continue that friendship. But it's good to meet guys that have like minds and like approaches and um, continue those relationships. And he's obviously been doing it at this level much longer than I, and has had a lot more success than, if I could have the success he's had in the next 10 to 15 years, that'd certainly be a win. So I think it's just two guys that have been friendly with each other and answered each other's questions and
I,
make each other feel comfortable about it. So I'm looking forward to it, and uh, everything else that's out there. I mean, I'm gonna have to give my guys. My guys will get a lesson on Jack Sikma. I'm guessing a bunch of them
he's been
don't know
gone a
who.
while. Like you're gonna have to give him like some old information. It's 1977. Like
I'm gonna put together a PowerPoint.
yeah,
We're gonna get some YouTube videos out, but they're gonna get some info, and um, it's so actually I talked to Steve Alford yesterday, and he used to be the coach at Manchester,
I was
and
at both of those games. What did he say about this?
he said uh he said the game at Manchester
He
was
says he got jobbed. Is
he
that
got
right?
jobbed by the refs.
No,
The shot went in late.
Mark Aubrey made a three at the buzzer, and it was at their building.
After, according to Steve, it was after the
Well,
buzzer.
you tell Steve that, like, first of all, I think it was late. I think the shot was late.
Okay, so
Now,
you're on the same page.
I can't prove it, but if I had to bet, I think it was just a smidge late. And then he was probably pretty happy with the game at the Shirk Center with 3,500 people there the next year.
And he mentioned that as well. And he said Illinois Wesleyan is awesome, great people, great program, great facilities. He had nothing but great things to say.
That
So
team, I'm telling you, like, like these teams were. I'm not joking. I think they were closer to what would now be like mid majors. Like maybe missing a guy here or there to make it that, but big physical, skilled teams. These 1995 Elite Eight, the game to go to the Final Four, and they had this dude Brad Canoy that we could not guard. So we could have another podcast about the Manchester games, but I'm glad to hear he's upset about the buzzer beater. That's awesome.
I think he's gotten over it, but he did say it was he was pretty hot at the moment, but
He was.
had glowing reviews of Illinois Wesleyan, the Shirk Center, the program, and we're looking forward to being a part of it. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun.
Well, I appreciate your time and look forward to seeing you there. I'll be there getting to town Thursday night and certainly see you at the gym early for game one Friday. And then, we can watch that Calvin Platteville game. Holy smokes. That's
Front
going to be
row,
good. So I
front
think it's going to
row.
be great stuff. I do. I think our guys, I've seen them play two games now, and all jokes aside about competition, they're uniquely big and athletic and skilled. So and I know you guys are loaded with your four starters coming back, a transfer. So let's have a great game Friday,
Yep.
and we'll look forward to seeing you at the Shirk Center, Russell.
Look forward to being there. Look forward to being there. Hey, thanks for having me on, and you travel.
There, I almost canceled you there. I almost hit the button too soon. Sorry, you were making a statement there.
I was just saying, hey, you travel safe as well. You
You
travel safe
two,
as well. We'll
be
see you
great
out
to
there.
see you, and tell your guys, try to help me out. There was a
No,
reason I
no
didn't
chance.
vote for him. Just
No
try your
chance.
best.
I'm not telling them anything. Nothing.
Russell White, thank you so much, and I'll see you somewhere Friday at the Shirk Center.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you.